This new party member. Oh god. I'm just looking at some of the spells. Oh god.
What?
Fireball.
This is going to be good.
Are you looking at my spells?
Yes, the ones that you posted in the chat.
They're plastered all
Multiple
over
times in
chat.
some cases.
I was just
You
making
did,
sure
you
it
did
worked.
launch many fireballs.
Just a few.
You guys wake up, it's bright and sunny out. All of a sudden,
Walking away from the dragon fight, like, all right, good job, everybody.
First, I was just wondering why everybody went back to sleep.
What am I? Okay.
So, hi, Internet.
Hi, Internet.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
all right. So we're in a mood tonight. Who wants to give us a rundown of what happened last week?
Dragon.
Hybrid abomination thing. We killed it. We ate it.
We did
Well,
not eat it.
Some
I
ate
Some
it,
of us
regretted
did.
that.
Two
One of
ate
them.
it,
Me and Moonshadow ate it.
Yes.
and then
That
you
constitutes
unate
a
it.
win. Yes.
Very ceremoniously unate it.
We skinned it. We basically hijacked the carriage and 2 horses and are transporting dragon bones inside of it.
They said we could take them.
Yes, we did hijack anything.
We
Uh,
hijacked it, set.
if our goblin shows up again, we have a big surprise for him.
We commandeered it.
I just want him
Well,
to show up. I've been looking for dragon bones everywhere, and I can't fucking find any. What are all of those?
Though, I mean, to be fair, we did pay for it at a heavily discounted rate. Arcs did give them some money for it, but not
Oh, yeah.
nobody knows that.
Yeah, that individual guard just pocketed it like, shit.
Yeah, right.
This is much gold as I make in a month.
No, that's as much
This
gold
is
as
more
you would
than
make
my
in a
yearly
life.
pay.
Yeah,
Way more. Oh,
Oh, right, we hit level 9.
you
that-
didn't
we
get
did.
level 9.
Fancy.
Or level 2 in
Moonshadow
some
has
cases.
a leopard. No,
level
Moonshadow's
2
level
and
1.
7, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Now Moonshadow can roll death saves if it goes out, so we won't lose a pet. Hopefully.
Not in the first hit.
I mean, how much HP does Moonshadow have?
The level, she's up to 42.
42, good lord. That's pretty good.
She has almost as much HP as I do.
I'm sorry.
2 out once.
Yeah.
That is your number.
Big kitty.
I think a couple more levels, and yeah, we'll
Large
definitely
kitty.
have as much
Well,
HP as I have.
It gets a D10 hit dice, and it has a Constitution of 14. So
That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So you're all wheeling your asses out of town with your horde of bones. Surely no one will look at that strangely.
Well, it has a cover.
Luckily, it has a cover.
We have a cover.
Someone's gonna peek in that fucking
We've got hides.
that fucking carriage.
What?
Various
dragon.
scaly hides, bones. I mean, if it's a carriage, there are like seats and shit in there, right? Like, wouldn't
Yeah.
most of this be affixed to the roof? Maybe tied on at some point?
Oh, you need to basically take up all the space in that carriage. You killed and looted the entirety of a dragon.
That's a big dragon.
kind of
Minus
two
the meat.
dragons.
Minus the meat,
Half
because the meat
dragons?
is dissolved.
That's true.
Got piles of skin that we need to. We need to.
Skin that can be turned into armor.
Yes, but it needs to be tanned first.
Must be tan.
Oh, right.
Because that shit gonna get rank.
Yes.
Yep.
So what's the temperature like outside?
It is warm and sunny.
Yeah, that's going to start smelling after a couple of days.
Oh no, they changed World Landfall and I don't know how to navigate it.
Oh no.
Can't help you with that.
As you guys are starting to roll out of town, you hear the rolling of wheels behind you as well.
What do we see?
This would be our dwarf friend.
His thing
You
doesn't
see
roll.
a cart moving without any horses in front of it.
Oh,
That is very strange.
Son of a bitch.
Being led on by a man with a giant bottle on his back.
hello, friend. Just call from the front of the carriage.
He nods. Just continues going.
Looks like we're
Gee.
traveling.
Do you all know this individual?
We've met him on our way in here. A peculiar sort.
He seems to be somewhat of a master brewer. You see, he has this just.
You see his eyes light up.
Not that kind of brewer, unfortunately. Maybe he is.
Of
Maybe he is.
potion sort.
Stara's gonna jump on Moonshadow and run up next to him.
So what you see is a... I have to open the page. Oh god, please just open.
Potion seller.
Potion seller!
I was listening when they met him.
Potion.
Yeah. You see an elderly dwarf with a thick, short gray beard and a large, slightly greened at this point glass bottle on his back.
Stara's just gonna look over to him, patting along on Moonshadow. I hear you're a brewer, of course, in his head.
He nods.
Do you have any alcohol right now? Anything new?
He
Anything
shakes
different?
his head no.
Stara's gonna lose all interest and just head back with everyone else.
You watch as this man drives along. He's holding his hands out like he has reins. And he even snaps them once, but there are no reins and there are no horses.
Concerned.
He could be
That's-
insane. He could be part of the magic. Prue just shrugs.
You, Brew, make a perception check.
Perception. Her passive is 14. 17.
Out of the corner of your eye, you actually see Martin with his book open, just moving his fingers around and muttering under his breath and then looking back towards the dwarf. Ah, see. And just closes his book and continues walking.
Anything interesting going on there?
His horses are invisible. Also floating. I wish I was making that up.
Does he say this loud enough for anybody else near the cart to hear?
You probably heard it considering your passive perception.
Okay. Russell's just gonna like try to keep an eye on the road, but like also turn back like ooh, invisible horses.
Invisible horses.
It is weird they have no legs.
Now concerned.
Are they alive?
I have no idea.
I mean, I hope not.
I cannot tell. I can only tell they're invisible and they have no legs.
Have I heard of any animal like this?
Legless floating
Roll a
horse.
nature check.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. Well,
Nope.
yeah.
I know nothing in game around.
Me neither.
Wouldn't know anything about it.
I'm not even gonna bother.
Probably not listening all that hard.
Sorry, you remember that you have an ability that lets you detect anything.
Oh yeah. Let's see what they are. Whoa.
You sense constructs.
Huh. Overhearing the conversation and just like, are they even alive? No, they're not.
Okay, I feel better now. And now, for Prue, like, it clicks. Okay, it makes sense now. Like, that's fine.
Per the thought of hover horses fills your mind.
Wait, but if they're not alive, how do they move?
Another project on Prue's list.
Magic.
Martin does jazz hands next to Prue. His fingers light up a little bit.
Ooh.
I'm not that kind of magic, Martin.
I will cast silence on you. Do not think I won't.
Ha! I don't know what that does.
Artaria, no sound comes out of your mouth.
Now you know what that does.
I like this.
Just eyes narrow, like you son of a bitch.
No words come out of your mouth still.
Hold on. Arcs dispel magic on Artoria.
Yep.
Thank you,
alright.
Arcs. Wait, that feels weird.
I can't tell if you mean being able to hear your voice again or thanking Art.
I think it's the thinking arcs.
Arcs, don't fuck with her.
that.
There's just a thumbs
Sorry,
up
it
from the
just
front.
stops in the middle of the road to contemplate life for a moment. So you all continue on your way, being followed by a cart.
Does he
being
seem extra
driven.
cranky? Or is he just traveling mode?
The dwarf behind you?
Yeah.
He's never appeared cranky to you. He just appears to be light on words.
Mm.
And heavy on potions.
Gotta love it.
No alcohol.
I'm sure there's enough in the next town.
I did try to warn you he wasn't that kind of brewer. He didn't want to get your hopes up only for them to be crushed.
Too late for that.
Say, and Rustin's gonna call out to the dwarf. That was Did you see the show?
And he nods.
New for you too?
And he nods.
Rustin's just gonna kind of back and nod.
And he nods even lower.
Does he sound like a villager from Minecraft?
Bit.
I'm not going to nod lower. I will leave it at my nod and continue watching the road.
You watch him take his bottle off his back, and he starts to pull liquid out of it and push it into a much smaller vial, and then reach back into his cart and place it and put the bottle back on his back.
God damn, that's cool.
So you all travel. your first day of 2. Hanbrook, nothing really eventful happens. Bright, it's sunny. It's such a juxtaposition from what you just did.
During the travel, Vishtar would like to mentally tap over to Prince and let her telepathically speak back to him. And he'd just like to ask, you make things, right?
All the time. Need something, big guy?
I was hoping to find something that could help Moonshadow here be a bit more protected. I don't want her to be hurt with things like that dragon creature.
Can she move in armor?
He nods. I have memories of creatures being able to wear special armor.
Well, next time we have a chance, if you could keep her from biting my hands off, I could measure her and try to put something together.
As long as she's fed, she won't do that. And he goes and just ruffles behind her ears. Moonshadow, that is.
Just reaches over and starts to scratch at Prudence.
Lots of confusion.
No. He's socially inept, not that socially inept. Well, that's a future problem.
You all, as the sun starts to set, pulls off to the side of the road, start to hitch up the horses, make sure they're fed. You watch as the dwarf pulls over near where you guys are, just crawls into the back of his cart, and the whole thing just vanishes.
Oh.
Did I
like magic.
You all?
Prudence just patch wrestling on the arm. You'll get used to it eventually.
I hope
Artoria comes over, pats you on the other shoulder. No, you won't.
just a thumbs up and like just eyes still full of wonder.
Vishtar's gonna jump onto Moonshadow and just to everyone, I'll go get dinner. And heads off to find something to eat.
And Russell's gonna.
So where do we have the mansion? Correct?
I think he needs to just do his thing.
Right. I'm going to get started on that. 10 minutes. The blue-skinned tiefling you've been traveling with starts to cast his magnificent mansion.
So magnificent.
That's not the only thing that's magnificent.
Ho!
I mean, some people might call him that.
Rosalind, you look back at where the other cart was, and you see like just a trail of smoke coming out of the ether.
What is?
And as the wind catches it, you all smell like burning tobacco.
All right then.
Just a little trail of smoke that starts from the middle of the air and just floats up gently.
This is fine.
Like a little non-existent chimney. You know, like you do.
Like you do in your magic floating invisible horse cart.
Hmm.
You all eventually head into the mansion as the door is created.
Are we just going to leave the horses in the cart unattended? We could be stolen and not even notice.
Well, then that would be a rude awakening for them now, wouldn't it?
And I'm not about to leave all of those parts to be stolen.
I don't want to lose the horses mostly.
Prudence is
Also, that would be bad. Yes.
thinking, how much space is in this area?
I mean, how much space do you need?
What just happened?
A lot.
Oh no.
Yeah, 100
Oh,
feet of...
that much space.
What are you
Yes,
planning?
most certainly there is.
So, like, would it be safe? Like, it should be safe because it's going to be, like, to bring the cart.
Yes.
Yes. So, like, this is
You
not
can,
like a.
you can do that. I just remembered. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm excited.
So, Prudence is thinking about this, and she takes out that pocket watch she's been working on, and she tinkers with it a bit, and she kind of heads off like 50 feet away or more, and she's just like, stand back, and she kind of like puts it on the ground and like trots back to you guys, and it just starts like glowing and then unfurling and getting like huger and huger until it's like a 2-story clock tower with a really huge front door that like
Oh my
double
God.
doors up to the that open to the side. Not a whole lot in it right now, but it'll hold a cart.
We could have had this before, Martin!
No!
Okay.
Is this able to be locked from the inside?
Yes.
Good.
Can we put this inside Martin's? Oh, but then that negates the whole point of the horses. Of trying to help the horses.
We are so just like kerthunk, just clockwork big square, like 100 feet on each side, square clock tower. Like the second story has like the big clock part on top of it, and it's ticking. And
Rustin's. Oh, good.
yes, so like we could the doors open wide enough that we could get the horses and the cart inside with more than enough room to spare. So yeah. It doesn't, like, she didn't really, since they have the mansion, she didn't really bother to put a whole bunch inside for this casting of it. It's just protect the cart, which is protecting them. It's a kind of overkill, but that's how she does.
That's incredible.
I was just going to suggest we had one person on watch, but whew.
Why bother?
Rustin's like staring between Prue and between the tower and between Prue and the tower.
Russell, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh jeez. Let's try this one today. Dun, dun, dun. Where's my character sheet? Okay. So it's the number I roll plus my modifier?
Yep.
21.
Okay. You resist having a nosebleed from the constant influx of new things today.
All right.
Because this is also the same day as the dragon.
Yeah.
But how did you make this, Prudence? This is incredible. It's massive.
Yeah, I figured I've been working on it for a while since I was getting tired of getting caught in the rain when we had to sleep.
Does that make sense?
It's only got 2 floors for now, but I'm sure it can make bigger eventually.
Only.
Only two. It's just, yeah, just like spreads her arms out, just like there's the 1 floor would comfortably fit all of us.
Well, yes. I mean, it's nothing like the mansion, but
To be fair, hers can be permanent, Martin says as he sticks his head out the door, just like staring.
What happens if it gets folded up while anything's inside, though?
it'll.
You are first ejected out of it, probably, hopefully, or you get crushed to death.
Ejection
Okay, good.
with all your stuff.
I suggest you not experiment with that in particular.
Yeah, I
You
have.
don't have to tell me twice.
It's not been tested. Not quite yet. But. And there is room in here. I think. Does anyone know how to tan hides? We should probably try to do that.
I don't technically have it in a background, but it sounds like something Vitara would know.
Like, probably nature or survival would have.
Vistara, you roll a survival check.
She has 0 survival. She's not proficient in that, so.
Yeah, you know the basis of tanning hides.
He's currently out hunting right now, though, still.
Yeah.
Yup.
Mhm.
Did Artoria have survival? Or was
She
that
does, yeah.
Could, at DM's discretion, could I argue given his family background that Ruslan would have seen it even if he might not have partaken in it?
You might have seen it. Roll survival.
I think that's plus 15.
Yeah, you know a bit about how it's done. You take the leather, you stretch it over the thing, you do something to it. Apparently you scrape it with a knife at some point. Yeah, you could do this.
I don't like the sound of that.
Because I'm sure, like, finagling and defacing the hide of an animal is exactly what Ruslan wants to be doing with his dad.
Isn't to be fair, he does know it's an abomination.
True.
Otherwise, like, I don't think he would willingly be like, yeah, I'm gonna skin a deer.
Yeah, to any sort of yeah.
But like, he also did rip out all of the teeth from this thing already.
At this point, you all watch as slowly the head of a dwarf peeks out from nowhere. And then an arm. And Artoria, make a dex save.
Wait, what? Why do you make me make dex save, you monster?
Okay, as long as it wasn't a natural 1, you're fine. You turn around and see the dwarf confused as there's just the head poking out of the middle of the sky. And concerned based on what you thingy. So concerned that you don't notice until it's too late that there's a bottle flying towards you that beams you in the head. And then you stumble around and fumble and finally catch it.
But what? She'll look down at the...
hide. And then he pulls his head back in.
Yeah, you hided your pet. We got magic too. Just gonna go back to the clock tower. Thank you. Well, everyone, I've got something for tanning a hide.
All right. And Ruslan's just gonna like briefly hold his head, like, all right, yeah, fine, let's go.
You open the bottle and it's a very strong acidic smell. Opens the sinuses right up.
Ooh.
Oh, he's probably gonna come back asking for pet.
like the shit you clean rust off of old
It's like
metal with.
turpentine, yeah.
Oh,
Excellent.
Acetone. That fun shit.
You know, the stuff you pour down a drain and then you have no more drain.
So, Prue will attempt to help in this, just to make it go faster, because they have a lot of hide.
At this
And
point,
she-
Vishtara, you return with your goat.
There is suddenly a tower in the place of the cart.
There is now a building.
Strange.
Doors open, can see them on the inside, trying to tan hides. Making an attempt.
I'll have Shadow drop the goat. What? Like I see that they're trying to tan hides.
Well, they have the parts of the dragon leather spread out, pinned up, and they're attempting to scrape.
It's like scraping all the meat and fat and whatever. That's
Well, the juices now
yeah.
that the meat
essentially.
has become.
Yes.
It is
with my roll
gross.
earlier, do I understand how this like? Do I understand what they're doing?
Yeah, you have a basic understanding on how tanning works.
You look uncomfortable.
it's certainly
It's gooey.
new. Yes, it's very gooey. You see, like sticky furred hands.
Yes, it is. It is most certainly sticky.
And any of you who have known Prudence for more than 5 minutes, knows that she doesn't mind getting completely gross and dirty. So she's going all out on this. Hopefully properly. Not her wheelhouse, but if she's going to be working with this in some fashion.
Well, seeing that they've got it, Vishtar is going to drag his goat over to a separate side of the place and start to skin it, clean it, and all that good stuff.
You know, Arx would probably be watching Prue and Ruslan doing this, and occasionally just doing prestidigitation on their hands in order to make sure that they're clean and tools don't slip.
Thank you very much. Truly appreciate it.
A nice subtle sound of like sinew just slapping against the ground as it gets flung off your hands. So every so often.
Oh no.
Gross.
There's going to be an interesting pile ejected in the morning.
Yup. I will say after about an hour of work, you have a third of the hide dry, clean and drying.
They need to rub in the stuff, acetone stuff.
Yeah, you've melted off what you can, and you have set it to dry and harden into a more usable form. And you all enjoy a meal of goat.
Russell will not.
Well, Arx.
Well, you have it in the mansion where it is properly prepared and cooked and ready. Vishtara, you're upset they ruined good goat.
He doesn't mind trying new food, but it is different than what he is used to. he did save, like he cleaned it while out there and brought it in for the, I guess the servants took and prepared, but he would have saved a bunch of it for Moonshadow to simply enjoy.
It is quite good, though.
Mm.
The vegetarians are presented with large salad with mini beans in it. Enjoy, as you will.
Happy cow. That's my only commentary.
There is plenty to eat and drink.
Drink lots.
Mhm.
And you all find your way eventually to bed. In whichever bed that might be. Artoria,
Yeah.
you black out.
Oh no.
You get into your room and you just fall into your bed and black out. And you wake up not in your bed.
I kind of like. Am I like still on like? What's my immediate surroundings? I guess.
Darkness.
Oh, okay. So vaguely familiar to Artoria. Just like, my lady.
You watch a thread extend from out of yourself. And you watch another thread come into view, one that is severed. You see it limply resting on the floor.
I'll like, not like, I'll kind of like reach out a hand just towards it, not like touch it, just like, oh.
Okay. You reach out and it's just there.
I'll like look around a bit more. Is that the only other thing I see? Just that string?
Yep. Just two threads in the darkness.
Artoria will kind of like steel herself, take a deep breath, and reach out and touch the string.
You grasp the ends of it. They're warm to the touch. Well, one side is warm. The other is very cold.
I'll sort of just like hold it for a bit before looking back up, just kind of into the darkness. Just
peer
kinda
into the empty black.
My lady, may I ask who this thread belonged to?
Aid. You can't see it, but you feel a presence around you. And as you look back up, you see that you're not in endless darkness. You are surrounded by black fabric.
not quite letting go of the strand, she's gonna, get up from crouching, kind of go and feel at the fabric a bit.
You feel as you reach out to touch it, the fabric shifts away on its own. And it shifts and opens and then closes behind you. And as you turn, you look and you see the porcelain face of the Raven Queen looking down at you. Its form is massive in comparison to yours, almost impossibly large, staring down at you.
Immediately kneel in respect.
As you kneel, you actually feel the string, the cold end of the string tug into your arm. It doesn't let you go all the way down.
And she very messily, because she's horrible dexterity, tries to turn that into like a bow before straightening back up.
Form the pact. Return thread of fate.
I actually just didn't hear you. What? Sorry.
She said, form the pact, return whole the thread of fate.
And she had both ends of the string, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or she's going to...
As she says this, your head pounds in pain.
Ooh.
And you nearly double over, if not for the pieces of thread that hold both you up and your arm. Flashes of memory come forward. You remember the entrance of a village. You remember homes, houses suddenly passing through your mind. You remember a castle and a pair of people in deep worship. You remember the tying of strings on pieces of paper and then a burning. Your mind comes back to you. Your vision clarifies. You look back up and the massive form of the Raven Queen is now diminutive, standing at your own height, looking directly at you. Form the pact.
Artoria is gonna kind of take either end of the string and very gently and cautiously, because she's terrible at tying knots, going to try and not simply tie them together, but kind of weave them around her own.
As you bring the two strands, and as you try to put them together, they don't reach. There's a gap. But as you bring them to your own thread, the two ends bind, quickly winding themselves around your own thread. Almost now parallel to your own before branching off on its own. And then your vision fades. And you fall back asleep.
Ooh.
As an aside, has anybody ever told Arx that he has a bedroom too? Because if not, he's just still sitting in the sitting lounge.
No.
I was muted. Rustlin would definitely let you know if he sees you staying behind as other people head up.
Yeah, that probably would have definitely been the case. He would have been going to the sitting area while everybody else was going upstairs or wherever the fuck the bedrooms are in this configuration.
You head upstairs on Urslin's word, and you open one of the doors that has your name on the front of it. And you open it, and you find not a simple bedroom, but a almost wintry. It looks like a bedroom that's been snowed in. You see actual piles of snow on the ground that make up like a carpet. The four-post bed with its canopy has icicles hanging down from it.
Arx is actually going to smile at this a little bit.
The wizard has had enough time around you to figure out that you are covered in ice.
And I mean, that's fair. But yeah, Arx would let out a small smile. Go and put his hands into a couple of the little snow drifts.
Cold, but not uncomfortably so for you.
And he'll go and lay down. Happy with the snow and the bed.
Ruslan would like to cast Sending in his room.
Okay.
He's basically just going to say,
Who
the
are you
first
sending
three-
to?
to orc that hasn't been named. The half orc first. The first three words are going to be in giant, the rest in common.
Okay.
And he's going to send my sweet bird. It's been too long. I've experienced too much to say, but I miss you. I'll reach out again soon. I love you. And he will cast it again, changing the first three words to my fierce fox, and he will send it to the halfling.
The first message comes through. Oh, Ruslan, is that you? Maybe I'm just dreaming. It has been. When you find time, come back to visit. We miss you. The second comes through a little bit slower. Who is this? Son? How are you? How are you speaking? I don't understand, but I hope you're okay. The world's going crazy. And that's all you get back.
Ooh. All right. And then he's going to check the book for the sketch of Snap, remembering what Martin had said earlier that day, just to confirm if it's true. Oh,
You
sorry,
go
the
to
bit
check.
about foreign things disappearing.
Which picture was this? I'm sorry.
Picture of Snap.
Yeah, he drew a pic of Snap and then he stashed it into the book before he had left that morning. And then
You
Ruslan told him.
used paper from inside the mansion.
Yes.
You open the book, and the picture is still where you left it.
Oh, that's a bit of a relief. How late would it be?
At this point, it's probably closing around maybe 10 o'clock at night.
All right. In that case, Ruslan's just going to give his nightly prayer to his deity, and just kind of curl up, kind of like in the hammock. Ah, I know you were there today, and I truly thank you for it. I'm so far from home at this point, and it's really nice to know that home is still looking out for me. And then he'll just head to bed after.
You all collectively fall asleep. Some more restful than others. A lot of your thoughts are muddled by the thought of creatures from beyond, of mysterious ancient beings that have suddenly returned to the world, of
If I
wars
could
that you
dream.
can't comprehend. But eventually you all wake up as the light in your room indicates morning time has come. Or sorry, you wake up with a splitting headache.
Meow. I suppose having terrifying flashbacks and bringing together somebody's thread of life may do that.
You walk to your mirror in your room, your little vanity. There's dried blood under your eyes, out of your nose, out of your ears, out of the corner of your mouth. And as you look back at your pillow, it is covered in your own blood.
Ooh, can't let Prue or anybody else see that. She's gonna just start like cleaning herself up.
Okay. As you're looking, you look down at your fingertips, and you're even under your nails. You have started bleeding, or you had been bleeding. But you clean yourself up, and luckily it's not continuing. It's all dried. And you managed to get most of it off.
Okay. Yeah. Should make sure to clean everything up before leaving her room.
Roll a religion check. Okay. You clean up and head out on your day. The rest of you wake up. You find breakfast already being made and prepared.
Last night before passing out, Prue would have been going through Jinky's book that she inherited. Just kind of like going over the stuff about the stones and seeing if she could work any more out, considering what she knows now before the nothing she practically knew before, other than that they probably existed.
You
But
take the book out and you start going over it, and you actually take the stone out, and where once it was burning you to touch, cool now. It's normalized in temperature, and as you hold it, you feel this strange pulse. Doo, doo, doo.
does it feel alive?
No, it feels rhythmic. And you notice as you're looking it over, the color of the stone has gone from this weird swirling, almost this red and white swirling that turns into like a black at the edges. It has normalized into a deep, vibrant red.
Because I think some of it was like she was going to try to make sense of like the schematics and stuff that were in there that were meant for this, to see what they were actually meant to do.
You look through the notes and you look through the schematics, and as you peer through them, most of what you can make out is that these stones are supposed to be some kind of power source. They, according to what you can read, if more than one is brought together, they exude an incredible amount of magical power.
She is not going to be using this for anything that she makes, but she's going to maybe make something to like keep it in, like just to like keep it safe, like a container of some sort to get this and any others that they get, because I mean, given their future plans to find certain things,
And it is large. It is about, if you place it down, it is about a foot tall and maybe 3/4 of a foot wide.
Okay.
But the notes do not go into how you're supposed to use them or for what purpose they are.
No, but she has like
What?
ideas. But
But-
she's not planning on using it for anything that she's currently going to make. But she wants to make sure that like it doesn't fall into anyone else's hands. So she's gonna try to come up with like a trunk or something just to hide it in.
Okay.
In any others of the future.
You start sketching and designing as you're eating breakfast with the rest of your party. You eventually all make your way out of the mansion to make sure that the cart and the tower are okay.
Tower should be fine. It lasts like 24 hours until she dispels it.
You all make your way out, and you find your cart has survived the night well enough. Make a perception check, everyone.
That wouldn't happen.
Still a little distracted.
24.
Rustlin, you notice it first. As you walk out and you look out onto the road, there's a body laying in the middle of the road.
Do I recognize the body as the dwarf?
No,
Alright, I'm still gonna go check on the body.
it's much taller. You walk over and it looks like it fell.
Are you okay?
You look it over and you reach down and like touch the side of its neck looking for a pulse, and there's no pulse.
No.
They are green in color with these long horns that sweep backwards. It looks like the neck just impacted the ground and twisted.
Oh dear. And I guess Rustlin's just gonna take a moment and pray for the soul.
As you take that moment, you watch the head snap forward and correct itself, and the body sits up.
Shield ready?
Eno, would you like to describe your character?
Okay, here we go. I am a. Before you is this tall, slightly on the thin side tiefling gentleman. He looks a little older. His skin is this mossy green. He has this long horn that is swept back with a gold band on it, and his gray hair is long and in a braid. He's wearing dark clothing with a cloak with black feathers, and he's got a bit of a rough beard. But two things about it, there's like this jagged scar across his neck, like his throat was torn open, and his eyes are all black save for gold irises.
That is probably the worst place to sleep you could have picked.
As you were in sweet oblivion, you heard a voice call out to you. It summoned you. And now you are here.
I take a moment to look around.
And what you see first is a very freaked out looking Furbog. With shield and mace ready.
I'm not an enemy! I'm not an enemy!
All right, okay. Are you okay?
Boom, boom.
I look startled. I'm alive?
It appears so.
I slowly get up. How long has it been? Not for sure.
Artoria, you recognize this person.
Low-ass perception roll was probably still just like helping pack stuff up. Didn't really even acknowledge this till just now. And so I look over and recognize him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you buried them.
I squint my eyes at him. And I'm like, there's no way. And then I remember last night. I'm like, oh fuck, there was a way.
I see
Gregor?
You look over and you see a very familiar red-headed, armored, many weapons on their back paladin.
I squint back. Archoria?
This is
Prudence looks back
Artoria,
and forth between the two of them, like,
you remember this as Gregor, and they used to exist where you lived.
She'll kind of like drop whatever she's holding and just slowly start walking towards him. That's you. How? I know how. Gregor, how did you get here?
I'm just as surprised as you.
I fucking buried you. Did you pull
I
this
was
shit on
dead.
me?
I was dead. At least, I thought I was.
Do I know how Gregor died?
Poop, poop. You don't know how they died, you just know that they did.
Ah, okay.
Arx is going to kind of interject himself. It should be no surprise that the dead can come back. We did bring you back after all.
Well, yes, but that was within the limit and according to magic that I vaguely understand. This is intervention. Artoria just kind of looks to the side.
sure. Do you remember how we met?
Yes.
So Prudence is a little like,
But this is different. This is, I believe, this is the work of my lady.
Gregor, as you're like standing there dumbfounded, you hear a bark from behind you.
I look over.
You see this, but in a bow.
Easy!
The rest of you see the rest of you see a large, imposing, almost warg-like creature appear from shadows.
I whistle and call
Gregor,
her
get back!
over.
Or
The beast starts to bound forward and sit in front of you.
or not.
Seems like we have another pet.
Anybody behind rustling can just see his tail going.
But this might be a bit problematic, no? We have a cat and we have a dog?
Yeah, well, both of those have a question mark at the end, so I think we'll be fine.
Vishtar is just patting down the hackles that have risen on Moonshadow. Like, what? How big is this dog?
It's about as tall as Gregor.
so also rideable.
And as you pet its head, it barks, and its bark is this horrible, almost mechanical in a way, sort of. And then it fades into shadow and vanishes.
Tail just slows.
I still stand with my statement. And a dog?
She
I
only-
do not have any dogs that do this.
She's not exactly a normal dog.
All right. I vaguely remember you having something.
Is that one gonna need armor too? Might need to get more stuff.
Prudence, roll an intelligence check.
As she is half joking mostly. Intelligence. Straight intelligence?
Intelligence or Arcana? As you look at the wisps of shadow as they vanish, your mind starts to go. That was a hound of ill omen. That's a beast from the Shadowfell. They are vicious, violent creatures that hunt down people that should not be in that realm.
That makes me question whether or not Ark should know about that. Because the Shadowfell is kind of the exact opposite of the Feywild.
Roll an Arcana check.
And Prue's gonna kind of like take Artoria's arm and just be like, "That's not a good boy."
No, well, they were.
No, the dog, the thing. They're,
Daisy?
that's not a good.
I don't remember them very well, but
They're kind of like
sorry,
a hellhound,
we're...
but it doesn't come from hell. But it's probably along the same lines of fucked up.
Doesn't it?
Arx, you're not as familiar with Shadowfell as you are with the Feywild. While they're both parallel planes to the material, you've never been to it, and you've never really considered going.
And I mean, that's fair considering that it would probably end up starting some sort of...
Yeah.
Where are my manners? Everyone, this is Gregor. He comes from the same village as me. And she'll, like, kind of gesture Gregor forward, like, come on, go meet my friends. And Gregor, this is my traveling companions and friends.
I just awkwardly smile and wave like, hi.
This is Prudence. She's, like, really smart and knows stuff about magic. You'll probably get along with her.
She kind of salutes with one hand. Prudence is also a tiefling, very pink, 2 extra mechanical arms, and a whole bunch of like other mechanical shit like attached to her. And she's like, just kind of like, yo, and she goes and snaps her fingers, and the giant like clock tower that's behind you guys just sort of like folds up neatly into a little pocket watch. And then she
Did
goes
we
to
pull the card
fetch.
out of there?
Yeah.
Okay.
If not, it pops out. But it's fine. But there is a gross pile of leftover animal goop in the
Okay.
Yeah, you all hear the wonderful morning sounds of
Great.
Concerned.
just a pile of this kind of whitish gray material comes bursting out the doorway before it folds in on itself.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to use the word squidging.
No, that's a word.
Okay. I did slowly look at Arturia like,
They're a bit of a shy bunch. But what? So you said you were just dropped here?
I can't think of any other reason why I'm here. Seeing as you were the
Yeah, Artoria leans in like real close, like, okay, I can explain that all later. Maybe some of it, but it is very good to see you. I had not expected to ever see you again, frankly.
likewise. I'm startled.
Every couple of minutes or so, you watch this green-skinned tiefling just kind of like jump a little bit and look around before like reaching up to touch their chest and settling again.
That one is very strange.
I think that it is fair to say that we are strange.
Yes, that's very fair. Oh, are you all right? Gregor, was it?
I think I am.
Do you have indigestion?
No. Oh no, I'm fine.
Okay.
Can I do I even need to eat?
You
I
are,
should-
you are considered undead, and therefore no.
Oh,
That's a neat trick.
So careful if anyone casts Turn Undead.
Oh, fuck. Thank you.
I just thought of something so fucked.
Accidentally destroy undead.
Not control undead.
That is something Artoria can do.
no.
Wait, does Artoria have the whole undead aura thing?
Yeah.
Yup.
Okay. Bonus.
Of hate.
Yeah. Where is it? Where is it? Button. That one.
You should probably get going. And just for reference, Gregor, that's not coming out of Ishtar's mouth. That is inside your head. Anything he says is inside your mind.
Okay.
So,
Well, Gregor, now that you are here, I don't suppose you would mind joining us on a journey?
is that really safe for them? Wait a sec. Hey, Gregor. Do you got any extra eyes sprouting in any places?
I'm extra concerned as I look at myself.
Nope, you're good, you think.
I think I'm good.
Haven't run into any peculiar red-skinned tieflings that are manic beyond belief?
No. What? Artoria, what happened while I was dead?
Poop, poop.
How, Zach, how long has it been dead? How long has it been since Gregor
You
died?
know, like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, Artoria will like just start thinking, and finally gears will start clicking, and she's like, "Oh, you don't know anything. We need to like talk." First off, Minas Steel has fallen.
You have no idea where that is, Gregor.
Oh, okay.
Wink.
One of the most powerful empires on this continent has fallen to
You also
the
have
abyss.
no idea what continent you're on.
these strange half-dragon creatures are invading our plane because something, nothing, and everything wants. Somebody here has much better explanations than I do.
You have no clue what a dragon is either.
Actually,
No.
good point. Roll an intelligence check, Gregor. Oh, you know exactly what a dragon is.
Wait, back up.
What the fuck do you mean there's dragons? Hold on, those are extinct.
Those are extinct. What do you mean, dragons?
Something took and is creating them. It makes my head hurt trying to figure it out.
We saw one.
Yep.
It was kind of stitched together and very uncomfortable.
As Prudence says that, you look back and you see that their carriage is full of bones.
That would explain that. I assume?
Yes,
Some of it. Most of it.
all of it.
Well, there's probably basilisk in there too.
Oh, that's right.
Man, I'm just picturing Rogue like finally getting his hands on some of the bones, and he makes an entire barrel, and then finds out it's basilisk bone. Therefore useless.
Luckily, we didn't take any basilisk bone.
Yeah, the leftover basilisk was just meat that Vishtar and Moonshadow would have eaten. Basilisk jerky.
Has it really been 3 years?
Closer to 4 at this point. And not much happened in those first 2.5 to 3. Everything really that's gone to shit has happened in the past 2 months, maybe?
I just slowly stare like, why? Why
Huh?
would I don't I guess I had something more in store.
It would seem Our Lady thinks it. Or knows it, I suppose, would be the better term.
It would be stupid of me to go off on my own, so I'll accompany you and your friends. Strength in numbers and all that, and if these things, I gesture at the dragon bones, are indeed coming, best take them out as a group.
Well, supposedly they're coming for us. They've noticed us,
What?
and
Yeah, we managed to piss
there's
them off.
supposedly 200 something of them, and they're all coming for us. So be prepared.
You see Vishtar in the background grinning. It's going to be a good hunt.
One at a time, I hope?
I can't
All four
imagine we'd be
arms
that lucky.
kind of go like lift, like
Double face
5
palm.
ancient black dragons.
Double face palm.
5 ancient black dragons.
Ah, very well.
Bring 'em on.
Very well. This is fine. It's all fine.
Of course it is fine. What else would it be? Except for, the end of the world.
Has the dwarf already headed off?
You don't know. You don't see him.
Alrighty.
And as they head off, Prue will just like yell, "See ya, Durgrim!" into the ether, just like into the nothing as they leave.
As you shout that, you watch a cart slowly appear and roll forward, like it's coming through a curtain.
He covered.
And he slowly, as the cart's rolling forward to follow you guys, he slowly crawls out of the back of it and gets in the driver's seat.
What?
Morning.
Don't
And he nods.
Russell will give him a nod back.
Gregor, that is Durgrim. He is a dwarven potion brewer who happens to be going in the same direction as us.
You watch as he takes the bottle off his back, the massive, like, tinted green bottle, opens it, and just tips it into his mouth.
I blink a few times.
He corks the bottle again and puts it on his back. And he continues to drive forward on his invisible floating horses, pulling his floating cart.
Huh.
Can't believe you made us repair a wheel that wasn't even a wheel.
Well, the cart's rolling sometimes. Like every time you hit a dip in the road, his cart doesn't lower; it just continues straight on.
Gotcha. But as we're traveling, Artoria will do her best to try and catch up Gregor on everything that has happened, which would include starting with... Fuck, where would she start? I guess just first describe the fall of Ministeel. Like, just kind of like a few years after your death, I was restationed, sent. Can't quite remember how I ended up there, actually. She just looks distraught at the ground, like, God damn it, another gap in my memory. But regardless, I became a knight there. Ministeel was this glorious, massive city, bigger than anything I'd ever seen before. It was... I thought it was indestructible, but then came the day of its fall, where the sky cracked and tore open, and demons and hellspawn from the abyss came pouring through, and within a matter of hours, it was completely gone. Barely made it out alive. And then from there, started traveling south to get away from A, the abyss, and B, what I learned was an undead horde coming from the north. And that's where, about the time I stumbled upon... And then she thinks, and she's like, actually, only Prudence and Oranges. Everyone else. And we fought off some uncontrolled and uncivilized undead. And from there, continued making our way south. Before we hit the city, before we hit Rivercross, which I try not to remember. Just so many mushrooms, It was kind of awful.
Please tell me you didn't eat any of them.
No.
Kind
Thank
of
the
controlling
gods.
people, though.
But yes, the random mushroom spores did control the dead as well. That was also terrible. But once you head south from there, and Artoria would probably have like a map open of the 2 continents at this point
Mhm.
to like be showing like the trail of what happened, and also to show Gregor where he is. And from there, we made our way south off of Rivercross, and then we took this path, took the route north of these woods here, and made our way around the mountains into Dimlodar. And that is also quite the sight. It is, from the outside, a massive mountain range. From the inside, a seemingly bigger city. It's quite incredible. It's like a dwarven fortress city of sorts. I would also like to describe it as nigh unpenetrable, but I said that about Ministeel, so I'm not going to say that about Dimlodar. But after going there, we joined a Monster Hunters Guild. Through some trials and tribulations to get there, but we did. Artoria is going to kind of like pause.
At the mention of Monster Hunters Guild, Gregor, you actually shiver, recalling the dealings with the Silver Maw.
Not like it's far better and actually way more like advanced. It's pretty incredible. We've got these neat little cards, and she'll whip out hers. They're all magical.
Just a blank white card.
It's blank.
Shouldn't be. Artoria can see it though, right? Like that's the whole thing.
Artoria
about them.
can see it.
Yeah. Prudence, are they supposed to do that?
Yep.
Ah, yes. You can't see it. So there's no point in me showing it to you then. Apologies.
Anything else I should be aware of?
Well, currently... Oh, right. The important part. Should probably skip to those. Essentially, we went east into the forest between Dimlodar and Evandar, and we found a large group of... what was their race? Yuan-Ti? Yeah, that's it.
With
Found
the
a-
Medusa leader.
Yeah, we found a large... Well, we didn't see the Yuan-Ti themselves, but just learned of a large group of Yuan-Ti hiding away, living within the forest. Much like our home. I sympathized quite greatly with them. And long story short, we made dealings with their Medusa leader, and currently we are on our way south to here, points at Creathan, to buy a boat, a large boat, large enough that we can fit all of the Yuan-Ti on it and bring them to a nice, isolated group of islands where they'll be able to live peacefully.
Quite the adventure you've been on.
Yes, it really has. Though I have missed home quite a fair bit. I hope they are still doing well.
And to think, the last I saw you, you were just you were just a god for Tsara.
I was still very new there, wasn't I, at the time? Artori will kind of drift off in thought. Enter memory gaps. Just
So I could just spend my time like looking at the map.
Yeah, you've never been to this continent before. You've actually never left Varad.
Yes. I had never been here.
Do we see anybody else on the road?
Make a perception check.
What is fuck math? 23.
Road seems fairly clear as you're traveling.
Word.
But as you're traveling and you've been spending a good few hours talking, you start to catch a scent on the wind, Rustlin. Salt.
Oh, he's thrilled. It appears we're getting quite close now. You can already smell the sea.
I've never seen this. Sea.
you really never did get out much, did you, Vishtar, from those woods?
Imagine water. If you go out on a boat far enough into this water, you could turn around in a circle and see nothing but water.
Oh yes, I was going to see one of these boats as well.
They're big, made of wood, float in the water, usually.
Preferably.
Very much preferably.
About an hour later, you start to make out on the horizon peaks of houses and buildings, and that scent of salt starts to really catch your nose, all of you. In another half hour, you start to see the forward gate of the port town of Hanbrook.
So the city is like walled? So the city is walled?
Yes.
On approaching, Vishtar is just going to ask generally to everyone, why are there so many buildings? What is this wall? Why is it...
To keep things out, usually.
This is very strange. I do not
This is-
understand.
It's more of a proper town compared to what would be more considered a village that you are familiar with.
That is the only civilization I have seen. So this is strange.
May seem strange. It will be much larger than you're used to.
More buildings, more people.
As you
Wait till we
approach,
get to Coriathan.
you see the dirt road slowly become cobblestone and paved. And the sounds of a much larger town start to catch your ear. Hustle and bustle and voices. The ringing of bells and the moving of horse hooves across stonework. And from here, you can see the left and right of this large town, the glistening blue of the Sapphire Sea. As you approach the forward gates, you notice that among the guard is something unusual. You're used to seeing the guards of Demlodar, these soldier-like dwarves in their plate mail with the single copper stripe that goes from shoulder to hip. You see something different as you approach there. Also guarding the wall, you see two taller figures. One human, the other one appears to be half-elf. The ears are slightly pointed, although short. They are in... One of them is in a chainmail shirt with a almost like cloak or cover over it. The other one is in leather armor. Both of them have a symbol of half of a ship's wheel pressed or cut into their armor. Prudence, you recognize that symbol. That is the Sea Watch. They are the guards of Corythan.
Aren't we not in Corythan yet?
You are not. However, you do know that Hanbrook, because of its location to the border, tends to be a trading post between the two capitals. And so both oh god, I'm blanking on the word. Both kingdoms take share in protecting it.
So she's like, she's kind of getting like she's not afraid, but it's just it'll be annoying, you know, if she's recognized and causes problems because she never like intended to ever come back.
You as you roll forward, your cart is stopped, and one of the two dwarves and the half-elf start approaching. Welcome to Hanbrook. Can you state your business, please, for the record? And starts to jot down into it. As well as your names, please.
Sorry, that last bit.
They're asking for your names and reason for visiting.
Yes. Hello. My name is Russell, friend. We're here passing through onto the next city.
South or north?
South.
On Corythan. Alright, before you pass the borderline, you're going to need to speak with one of our, for lack of a better word, you're going to need a passport to get in.
Is that new or is that
That is not new,
okay?
and you knew it was coming, and boy do you wish they were a lot more lax about that.
Right, of course. Where did he say it was?
He directs you into the city near the southern gate.
Southern Gate, okay.
There's a traveling office near the exit of the city. Just stop in there. make sure you're registered for travel south. We get enough stowaways, and we have to make sure that everyone that's coming in and out has a business there.
Yes, of course, of course. Thank you so much for showing us the way.
No problem. Yeah, well, enjoy your stay at Hansbrook. And from behind you hear, Durgrin! Durgrin, you old bastard! How are ya? From the Dwarven Guard. And you hear the other dwarf respond, and he jumps off his cart and runs over and gives a big hug to the guard. You actually hear metal plates. No, mate, that's a date. They seem to know each other.
That's great.
And you all make your way into town.
Prudence gives a different name.
What name do you give?
Chastity Prinebook. And we'll try not to snark.
You all make your way into town, and it is a bustling port city. And straight down this road, it goes right to the other end, and you can see right into the harbor, where there is a very active port. And the sea.
That is
Oh, good.
Vishtar is just making a comment like, that is a lot of water. It is very big.
And deep.
Yes. And you see those things, the wooden creations out on just that giant pool of water. Those are ships.
And he's like looking, like trying to look even further out to try and see the other side. He's like, I can't see where it ends. Where is the other side?
Weeks and weeks away. Depending on where you're looking.
You've got good eyesight, Vishtara, but even you couldn't possibly hope to see the other side from here.
So very weird. And he's just looking around like at all the new stuff in this town that he has never seen before, which is just about everything.
Prudence likes the sea air. It does like remind her of like home when it was good and like,
you get
childhood. It's just familiar.
You get a very strong wave of nostalgia just course through you. Russell, you're just happy to be back at the water. And you'll all notice as you're carting along, you have not deviated the course. You are heading straight for the docks.
Where are we going?
Are we staying here? Or are we moving on?
Unless there's something in particular that needs to be done here, I believe we're ready to head south to Corvash.
Wait, out of character question. Does Ruslan realize he's driving straight towards the docks and not towards the office?
Yes, you're just very excited, cow.
Okay.
Happy cow.
So, yeah, if nobody else points it out, he's just going to be a happy cow and he's going to drive straight to the docks.
I guess Mage Hand and poke him.
What is... Oh, wait, is it invisible or no?
No, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. Also new. Yes.
As you're adjusting yourself to look back at the mage hand, you hear very loudly across the town 5 loud, gong-like chimes of a very large bell. And you all look over and you see a very large clock tower.
Oh,
It looks like yours, Prudence.
It looks new as you look at it, Prudence.
Am I being heard?
Nope.
Nope.
no.
But
I
not
was
yet.
asking if it's like it wasn't there before, or if it's been repaired, or
It wasn't there before. This is new.
huh?
Ooh.
Curious. Was there talk of that be going to have been built when she passed through? I'm not
Roll a history check.
She still thinks hers is better, either way.
You might have heard something about something being built. You were kind of hauling ass as fast
Yes.
as possible northbound.
North forever.
What numbers?
You kind of sprinted through this town, to be fair.
I mean, she does want to go look at it, and she wants to take it apart, but they have more pressing matters. So it's just kind of like, But she's definitely like looking longingly at it, like, oh.
As you
Yours is just as nice, Prudence, and Artoria will give her like a hand on her shoulder.
Mine is better. It's portable, and I can change it however I want.
Yours is better, yes.
And
You are right.
She nods, like, yes, mine's better. Absolutely.
she gives Artoria that stare, like, what the fuck do you mean they're the same?
That's what I meant to say, of course.
But you see, as you're driving along down this main road and start to turn, you see blacksmith shops, multiple. You see woodcrafting, carpentry shops. You see tinkering shops, all set up down this road. You see leather workers and cobblers, and this seems to be a very busy main thoroughfare for businesses. Numerous people standing in front of certain places parking for commerce and attention. You see hanging out of windows little clockwork pieces and displays of finely crafted, freshly prepared swords and axes and mining picks. You see new clothing being woven outside of tailoring shops. And you see sailors of all different sorts wandering around. Some dwarven, some human. You see a pair of large cat-like people. You see two individuals wandering down the street, covered in large feathers, almost eagle-like. Both carrying tankards, laughing to themselves in a language none of you understand.
Try me.
I have to remember what their language is called.
If it's Orin, it should be understood by Arcs.
Where are you in which book? I am in the wrong book. I will find it elsewhere. See a large bull-like humanoid inspecting one of the blacksmith shops, with a poor dwarf who's just like could have stacked two of himself on top of him and not been as tall as this individual. It is not Arn. They're not speaking Arn.
Okay.
It is a mixing pot, the likes of which many of you have never seen.
Victoria finds it fascinating.
So does Gregor.
When we're passing the giant bull-looking person, Ishtar is just messaging to, or like thinking to everyone in the group, not to anyone else. No, that would be a good hunt.
That is a person.
That would be considered murder.
He kind of turns around, curious. What is this murder? And that is a person that looks more like a beast.
Oh, that's a hell of a concept to have to explain.
Let's
People have said that about us, you know, and she gestures to the tieflings in the group, the three of them.
Ah,
Strange.
Rustin's just gonna kind of slow the cart for a moment. And
Rustin, make a perception check.
Okay.
Actually, everyone
I
make a
find it.
perception check.
Oh boy.
Perception is
gee, I love perception checks.
Gee, you love rolling tonight.
17.
Nope.
Prudence is on the ball today.
Martin. Nope, that's a 3. All right, Prudence and Vishtara, as you're looking out, just as you're starting to turn the cart around, you look towards the docks and you see a massive humanoid come slowly lifting out of the water. Absolutely gigantic in size.
Can I see any specific features on it?
Yes, you see these very ornate pieces of jewelry around the neck, on the ears. You see these large, they look like pieces of insect chitin, maybe along the shoulders, and very long, beautiful flowing shirt that's for some reason only a little damp despite coming out of the ocean. The skin itself is a grayish blue with long white hair tied in like a ponytail.
I point over to it and think to everyone else, what about that? Can I hunt that? Like, is it like
No.
massive and people are panicking around it?
It is, let me find out. It is approximately
We talking like kaiju size or just
like
really
20
big person?
like 20-ish feet
Okay,
tall.
okay. So just very big.
Giant.
Just
You watch as its hand
no.
slowly reaches down into the docks and just grabs a handful of crates and puts them into one of the ships.
No, solid no.
He reaches down, he grabs another handful and puts it onto the ships.
I
You
shake
can see
my head.
others getting onto the ship that it seems to be loading, and he actually grabs the entire ship and pushes it out to sea and starts walking alongside it.
picks up the entire ship and just yeets.
Off to the islands.
Would I
Safe
recognize-
travels. Vroom.
Ishtar is looking pretty pouty at this point. Like, you can't hunt anything.
Generally not in a city, no.
That's frowned upon.
Usually.
Most frequently.
I don't think I like this place.
But I will also tell you, the bigger the town is, usually the wider the variety of alcohol they have.
He stares over at you. Where?
Shouldn't have said anything.
Your best bet is to look at the inns and taverns.
Ishtar will immediately stop and kind of do like a brain blast to everyone in the immediate vicinity. Where is the nearest tavern?
We have a stop to make first.
Wait, do you do that to the party or just everyone?
Everyone.
Oh, okay. Hold on, I need to roll some dice real quick.
And that's just everyone within 10 feet, right?
Times his level.
Oh, times the
90
level.
feet.
Oh,
Anyone I can see within 90 feet of me.
God damn.
Where's my third and fourth D8?
So you're basically just like brain spam.
I guess. They don't know it's coming from me. It's just blasted out.
Where the fuck's the nearest tavern?
Basically.
Just hear infants crying.
As long as they understand one language, I can do it. I don't have to share that language, and they will understand. Here, I'll just post it.
So
Do you understand the language?
all heads suddenly pop up, and everyone starts looking around, wondering why there is suddenly screaming in their heads.
It's not full
People-
screen, but yeah.
People start drawing weapons. Guards on the street start to draw their weapons and look around for what's happening.
Prince is like, just pretend that wasn't you. Trust me.
Rustin's instantly gonna pretend like he's. Or actually, he's probably gonna instantly be startled that everybody else is drawing weapons. So I think he's gonna go along with it.
Arx takes on a different skin tone and eyes. His hair shifts.
I don't know this person.
Everyone else just started going,
Did anyone answer?
no!
I
Also, Vishtar, don't
But
I
a lot of
understand
people
that's your
are
way
like,
of talking, but
like guards are actually backing up into each other and like making formations, trying to figure out why a mass message of psychic proportion just got released over the entire block.
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't threatening.
I face palm. I do double face palm, then I take Artoria's hand and face palm with them.
he doesn't know.
Face
Okay.
palm times
I
4
simply asked a
combo.
question.
Vishtar,
You start to hear a baby crying.
your way of speech is not considered natural anywhere on this continent that I know of.
Or polite.
Or for this plane even.
It's the only
Oh,
way
you know
to
a few creatures
communicate.
that speak that way, and it's why people are freaking out.
Yep. That's why she said not considered natural. It is
It's the only way I
even-
know how to communicate.
yes, which is